say a lot of those women, young and old, uh, have to be kind of responsible for some of that, maybe even if it's just a small percentage of it, because you knew who he was. He wasn't like he was a stranger off the street, that's going out abducting people.
Now, some of them, they were around during the Aaliyah time. I don't think they knew who he was. But after that sex tape came out, with him peeing on the girl, even though people didn't want to, well, let's put it this way. The courts didn't find him guilty of anything from that. You knew that was him on that tape. Like, he tried to say it was his brother. Him and his brother don't look that much alike that we would have thought that was his brother. Like, that was him on that tape. So, at that point, it's kind of like, do I trust him? He say that wasn't him. The courts didn't find him guilty, so I'm just going to roll with it. I don't agree that they have to take, the young girls have to take responsibility. I don't agree with that. Because from the documentary, it sounded like he would pick girls that were not sharp. Like, he picked girls that were easily manipulated. Even the older ones. He picked the ones that were easily manipulated. So, I don't say they have to the young girls anyway, I don't think they have to share some of the responsibility for what he did, because let me just throw this in. When you are molested, and this is not necessarily my personal experience, but when I worked for Children's Protective Services, that's all I did was sex abuse. Sometimes the victim enjoys what's happening to them. That does not mean that it's right. And that doesn't make them a willing participant because they're a child. So it's just like, a lot of times when people think of molestation, they think of a girl being molested. Boys are molested too. And they get aroused. They even, complete the task. That does not mean that they were not molested or that they had some fault in what happened. The adult clearly was the one who was wrong. And this R. Kelly was clearly the one who was wrong. I just sometimes it feels good to him. You can't help what the body, like you said, opening that dark place. Like, once you have sex for the first time or are aroused in that way for the first time, it's hard to just say, okay, I'm never gonna do that again, or I don't like that when it feels good. So molestation is not always something violent. Those people, they like coach the children into trusting them and loving them, and then bad things happen and the kids don't think it's bad.
I think kind of like the point I was aiming at was similar to like what happened with Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson went to jail for having a young lady up in his room from the beauty pageant. Mm-hmm. She was young, and I don't know if she was gullible or if there were people that talked her into, you need to see what you can get out of it or whatever. But for you to go to this man's hotel room at 2 or 3 in the morning and you know who he is, that to me is, there's some responsibility on your part in that arena, because you didn't have to go.
It was a bad decision.
Yeah, and just like some of these other women that follow R. Kelly, like, he did things that were wrong. His intentions probably were wrong from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, he was in this space of his, and he's just gonna ride it out until, the roof falls in. Like, I got off once already. And, and maybe sometimes you tell yourself you didn't do anything wrong enough times. You start believing it. And so, when nothing happened to you the first time, and a lot of times, this can happen when you see this happen with celebrities all the time, because they have the kind of money to find these attorneys that know just how to write the system off on them so they can get loose. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, just to see some of these folks follow this guy when you know exactly who he is, and like you say, I'm sure along the way there were things that they did enjoy. I mean, guy got money. He can send you shopping on a shopping spree like you've never seen before. Now, if you broke,
Right.
I just enjoyed hanging with R. Kelly. So, okay, he's spending this money on me or allowing me to do what I want to do somewhat. We don't know what's coming on the back end, but who cares? Let's enjoy the front end right now. So, yeah, he was still wrong because he took things way too far. All that, in our view, it looked like kidnapping, abducting, whatever you want to call it. You know, we have daughters.
Yeah.
And we watched that show, and here's his family is, man, we haven't spoke to our daughter in 3 years, and she's up here in this building, and he's got her where she can't come out, she can't make phone calls. Man, if that was my daughter, let me tell you. If that was my daughter, I mean the one that's right, the one that we was just in the kitchen with. Man, come on, man, come on. I drive a truck, I can drive 18-wheeler. See what I'm saying? I would have went and hijacked the 18-wheeler, one that was full of fuel, one that they go and fuel up at the gas station. I want one of those with the long silver tank on it. And I rode that thing right through his building. Boom, y'all gonna get my daughter out of here. Now, you go to the police, oh, there's nothing we can do. Well, can you at least do a well check? Well, we'll see if we can get to it, but it's not a priority. But that kid walking down the street with Skittles in his pocket, now that's a priority, huh? Come on now.
The one selling loose cigarettes. That's a hazard to everybody.
And it is definitely on the top of the priority list. Let's get to it. But you can't even get my daughter. I ain't talked to my daughter in 3 years, and she's in this building that belongs to R. Kelly, and no one can get in, no one can see, nobody can get to her. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll get to her.